I'm grateful you joined tonight. Your brain is trying to heal itself right now, clearing toxins, filing memories, preparing for tomorrow. But stress keeps interrupting that natural process. Tonight, you'll discover why anxiety blocks your deepest rest and understand how your mind can find its way back to peaceful sleep. Welcome to Psychology for Sleep. Now settle in. You're in your safe space while your brain quietly tries to repair itself. Sorting through today's worries, deciding what needs attention and what can wait. Perhaps allow yourself this moment of peace. We'll journey through 100 psychology facts about deep sleep and stress, from the moment your eyelids grow heavy, to the delta waves that should carry you down, to the barrier stress builds between you and true rest. This thoughtful journey through consciousness builds bridges between searching minds. Your gentle support, a like, subscribe, or a quiet share, creates a pathway for more sleepless souls to discover and brings us closer to protect this sanctuary for every tired mind who finds their way here. One peaceful night, one sleepy soul at a time. Your healing journey inspires ours. Let yourself settle completely here. Feel your jaw unclench, your breath deepen naturally. You can let these thoughts drift past without holding them. Sense that soothing heaviness enveloping you, like your consciousness slowly dimming its brightness. Thoughts dissolving into the peaceful fog of approaching sleep. Safe and undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're floating where memories rest safely in gentle darkness. Let your mind merge with infinite peace. And now we begin. Deep sleep is not simply rest. It's when your brain does its most essential maintenance work. During this stage, called slow wave sleep or delta sleep, your brain waves slow down to less than 1 cycle per second. Recent 2024 research from the National Institutes of Health shows that during deep sleep, your lymphatic system becomes 10 times more active, flushing out metabolic waste products, including beta-amyloid proteins linked to cognitive decline. Your neurons fire in synchronized patterns, creating those slow, rolling delta waves that give this stage its name. Blood flow increases to your muscles for physical repair. Growth hormone releases peak during these hours. Your immune system strengthens its defenses. Yet when you're stressed, your body struggles to reach this restorative state, hovering instead in lighter sleep stages where true healing cannot occur. Tonight, we'll explore why that happens and what your mind is trying to tell you. Your sleep unfolds in cycles, each lasting roughly 90 minutes. A typical night includes 4 to 6 of these cycles, each one a journey through distinct stages. You begin in light sleep, stage 1, where you're barely asleep, easily awakened by sound or movement. Then you descend into stage 2, where your heart rate slows and your body temperature drops slightly. According to 2024 sleep research published in Nature Neuroscience, stage 2 occupies about half of your total sleep time. Finally, if conditions are right, you sink into stage 3, deep sleep, where delta waves dominate your brain activity. After deep sleep, you rise back toward REM sleep, where dreams occur. But stress disrupts this natural progression, keeping you trapped in the shallow waters of stage 1 and 2, never quite reaching the depths where true restoration awaits. Stress activates your body's ancient alarm system, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or HPA axis for short. When your mind perceives threat, real or imagined, your hypothalamus sends a chemical signal to your pituitary gland, which then signals your adrenal glands to release cortisol. This stress hormone floods your bloodstream, preparing you for action. Your heart rate increases, your senses sharpen, your muscles tense. Blood sugar rises to fuel potential movement. Recent 2024 studies from Johns Hopkins University show that cortisol levels naturally decrease throughout the day, reaching their lowest point around midnight to help facilitate deep sleep. But chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated even at night, effectively telling your brain that now is not the time to rest deeply. That danger might still be present, requiring vigilance rather than surrender to unconsciousness. Your brain contains a tiny region called the amygdala, about the size and shape of an almond. This structure serves as your emotional alarm system, constantly scanning for potential threats. When you're stressed, your amygdala becomes hyperactive, responding intensely to even minor concerns. Recent neuroimaging studies show that people with chronic stress display significantly higher amygdala activity during sleep attempts compared to non-stressed individuals. This heightened activity prevents the brain from transitioning into the synchronized, slow-wave patterns characteristic of deep sleep. Your amygdala essentially keeps one eye open, maintaining a state of alert even as your body tries to rest. It's an evolutionary adaptation. Our ancestors needed to wake quickly if danger approached during the night. But modern stress triggers this same ancient response, even when you're perfectly safe in your own bed. Deep sleep typically accounts for about 15 to 25% of your total sleep time in healthy adults. For someone sleeping 8 hours, that means roughly 1 to 2 hours of deep sleep per night. But this distribution changes dramatically under stress. Research published in Sleep Medicine Reviews in 2024 tracked sleep patterns in individuals experiencing work-related stress over 6 months. The findings showed that deep sleep percentage decreased significantly during high-stress periods, with some participants experiencing reductions of up to 40%. Some participants experienced almost no deep sleep at all on their most stressful nights. Instead, they spent excessive time in light stage 2 sleep, cycling repeatedly through brief awakenings and shallow rest. Their bodies were horizontal, their eyes were closed, but the restorative deep sleep their brains desperately needed remained frustratingly out of reach. Your body temperature plays a crucial role in sleep depth. To fall into deep sleep, your core temperature needs to drop by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. This cooling signals your brain that conditions are right for deep rest. Your body naturally begins this cooling process in the evening, aided by the release of melatonin. But stress interferes with this temperature regulation. The arousal caused by elevated cortisol keeps your metabolic rate higher than it should be at night, preventing the necessary temperature drop. A 2024 study from the University of California, Berkeley found that stressed individuals maintained core temperatures approximately half a degree higher during the first half of the night compared to their relaxed counterparts. This seemingly small difference was enough to significantly reduce deep sleep duration and quality throughout the entire night. Your brain waves tell the story of your sleep. When you're awake and alert, your brain produces beta waves, fast, choppy oscillations cycling 15 to 30 times per second. As you relax, these shift to alpha waves, slower, more rhythmic patterns at 8 to 12 cycles per second. During light sleep, you enter theta wave territory, 4 to 7 cycles per second. But deep sleep is defined by delta waves, those slow, powerful oscillations moving at less than 4 cycles per second. Recent electroencephalogram studies from 2024 show that stressed individuals struggle to transition from theta to delta patterns. Their brain activity gets stuck in a liminal space between light and deep sleep, with delta waves appearing only briefly before the brain jerks back to theta or even alpha patterns, essentially waking up without fully waking up. Cortisol and melatonin exist in a delicate balance, like opposite ends of a seesaw. Melatonin, your sleep hormone, naturally rises as darkness falls, signaling to your body that rest is approaching. Cortisol should decline during these same evening hours, reaching its lowest point around midnight. But chronic stress disrupts this rhythm. Your adrenal glands continue pumping out cortisol even when melatonin is trying to promote sleep, creating a biological contradiction. Recent research from the National Institute of Mental Health found that individuals with elevated evening cortisol levels showed melatonin patterns that were not only reduced in amplitude, but also delayed by up to 90 minutes. This means stress doesn't just reduce your sleep hormones, it shifts the entire timing of your sleep-wake cycle, making it harder to fall asleep at your intended bedtime. Your sympathetic nervous system controls your fight-or-flight response, the ancient survival mechanism that kept our ancestors alive in the face of immediate danger. When activated, it increases your heart rate, dilates your pupils, and shunts blood toward your major muscle groups. Its counterpart, the parasympathetic nervous system, handles rest and digestion, slowing your heart and promoting calm. Deep sleep requires strong parasympathetic dominance. Your body needs to fully shift into rest mode. But stress keeps your sympathetic system partially activated even during sleep attempts. A 2024 study using heart rate variability monitoring found that stressed sleepers showed significantly lower parasympathetic activity during the night compared to relaxed sleepers. Their bodies were trapped in a state of partial arousal, unable to surrender fully to the vulnerability that deep sleep requires. So yes, stress is already changing your sleep by activating multiple biological systems that work against deep rest. Your cortisol stays elevated when it should decline. Your amygdala remains hypervigilant when it should quiet. Your body temperature stays too high when it should cool. Your brain waves struggle to slow into delta patterns. Your sympathetic nervous system maintains partial activation when parasympathetic calm should dominate. These aren't separate problems. They're interconnected parts of a single stress response that evolved to keep you alert in the face of danger. The challenge of modern life is that your brain can't distinguish between a genuine threat and a worry about tomorrow's meeting or next month's bills. To your ancient survival circuits, stress is stress, and stress means staying alert rather than sinking into vulnerable unconsciousness. Your sleep pressure builds throughout the day through the accumulation of a molecule called adenosine. Every hour you're awake, adenosine levels increase in your brain, creating a growing drive towards sleep. By evening, this pressure should be strong enough to help pull you into deep sleep despite minor disturbances. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, temporarily masking this sleep pressure. But stress affects adenosine in a different way. Research from 2024, published in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, found that chronic stress actually reduces the effectiveness of adenosine signaling in promoting deep sleep transitions. Your adenosine levels might be high, creating that exhausted feeling. But stress prevents your brain from responding appropriately to these signals. You feel desperately tired, yet somehow unable to sleep deeply. A frustrating contradiction that millions experience nightly. Your muscles undergo a fascinating transformation during deep sleep. In lighter sleep stages, your muscles remain somewhat active, capable of twitching or moving in response to dreams or external stimuli. But during deep sleep, a phenomenon called sleep atonia occurs. Your voluntary muscles become temporarily paralyzed, except for your diaphragm and eye muscles. This paralysis protects you from acting out any dreams and allows your muscles to fully relax for repair. Recent polysomnography studies from 2024 show that stressed individuals often fail to achieve complete muscle atonia, even when they briefly enter deep sleep. Their muscles maintain low-level tension throughout the night, monitored through electromyography sensors. This persistent tension indicates that their bodies never fully accept the vulnerability of deep sleep, maintaining readiness for action even during what should be the most restful hours. Your hippocampus, a seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain, serves as a temporary storage facility for new memories. Throughout the day, it collects experiences, conversations, and learning. During deep sleep, these memories get transferred to your cortex for long-term storage in a process called memory consolidation. Studies from Stanford University found that inadequate deep sleep due to stress significantly impairs this consolidation process, with chronically stressed subjects showing substantially reduced memory transfer compared to relaxed subjects. Even when total sleep time was similar, their hippocampus remained overloaded with unprocessed memories because deep sleep, the time when these memories should be filed away, kept getting interrupted. This helps explain why stressed periods often feel mentally foggy. Your brain's filing system isn't getting the deep sleep it needs to organize information properly. Your growth hormone production follows a clear circadian pattern, with the largest pulse occurring during your first deep sleep period of the night. Typically within the first 90 minutes after falling asleep, this hormone doesn't just make children grow. In adults, it's crucial for tissue repair, muscle recovery, and metabolic regulation. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology in 2024 demonstrated that even a single night of stress-disrupted deep sleep reduces growth hormone secretion by up to 70%. Study participants who reported high stress and showed reduced deep sleep on polysomnography also showed dramatically lower growth hormone levels in blood samples taken throughout the night. Without adequate growth hormone release, your body struggles to repair the day's wear and tear, creating a cascade of physical consequences that extend far beyond simple tiredness. Your immune system does some of its most important work while you sleep deeply. During slow-wave sleep, your body produces cytokines, proteins that help fight infection and inflammation. Certain cytokines also promote sleep, creating a beneficial feedback loop where sleep strengthens immunity and immune signals promote deeper sleep. But stress interrupts this loop. A comprehensive 2024 review in psychoneuroimmunology examined how stress-reduced deep sleep affects immune function across multiple studies. The findings showed that people experiencing chronic stress with reduced deep sleep had significantly lower production of T cells and natural killer cells, crucial components of immune defense. They also showed higher levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. This helps explain why stressed, poorly sleeping individuals catch more colds and take longer to recover from illness. Their immune systems are trying to do repair work without access to the deep sleep workshop where that work happens most effectively. Your brain's glymphatic system functions as a waste removal network, similar to the lymphatic system in the rest of your body. Discovered only in 2012, this system becomes dramatically more active during deep sleep, flushing out metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. The space between your brain cells actually expands by up to 60% during deep sleep, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flow more freely and carry away cellular debris. Research from the University of Rochester, updated in 2024, shows that chronic stress and reduced deep sleep lead to measurable accumulation of waste proteins in the brain, including tau and beta amyloid, both associated with neurodegenerative conditions. Your brain is literally trying to take out its trash during deep sleep, but stress keeps interrupting the cleaning crew before they can finish their essential work. Your heart rate normally decreases by 10 to 20 beats per minute during deep sleep compared to your waking rate. This reduction gives your cardiovascular system a chance to recover from the day's demands. Blood pressure also drops during deep sleep in what doctors call nocturnal dipping, a healthy pattern associated with better cardiovascular outcomes. But research published in Hypertension Journal in 2024 found that stressed individuals often show non-dipping patterns. Their blood pressure fails to decrease normally during sleep, or decreases much less than it should. Participants with high stress and reduced deep sleep showed blood pressure reductions of only 5 to 7% during sleep, compared to the healthy 10 to 20% dip seen in relaxed sleepers. This means their hearts and blood vessels never get the full break they need, working overtime even during what should be restorative hours. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and impulse control, relies heavily on deep sleep for optimal functioning. During slow-wave sleep, this region undergoes significant metabolic restoration, clearing out accumulated waste products and replenishing energy stores. Neuroimaging studies from 2024 using functional MRI show that just one night of stress-reduced deep sleep leads to measurably decreased prefrontal cortex activity the following day. Test subjects showed greater difficulty with tasks requiring executive function, emotional control, and complex reasoning. They made more impulsive decisions, struggled more with emotional regulation, and found concentration more difficult. This creates a vicious cycle. Stress reduces deep sleep, which impairs the prefrontal cortex, which makes it harder to manage stress effectively, which further disrupts deep sleep the following night. Your glucose metabolism changes significantly during deep sleep. Your brain consumes less energy during slow-wave sleep compared to waking or REM sleep, allowing it to replenish glucose stores and restore metabolic balance. Recent research from the American Diabetes Association found that reduced deep sleep due to stress affects insulin sensitivity, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar effectively. Participants experiencing chronic stress with reduced deep sleep showed increased insulin resistance compared to their baseline measurements, even when diet and exercise remained constant. Their bodies needed more insulin to process the same amount of glucose. Over time, this pattern contributes to metabolic syndrome and increases diabetes risk. Your deep sleep isn't just rest. its active metabolic regulation, and stress disrupts this crucial balancing act night after night. Your breathing pattern naturally becomes slower and more regular during deep sleep. Respiratory rate typically decreases to 12 to 16 breaths per minute, compared to 16 to 20 during waking hours. This slower breathing promotes deeper oxygen exchange and allows respiratory muscles to rest. However, stress often leads to subtle changes in breathing, even during sleep. Research using respiratory monitoring, published in Sleep and Breathing Journal in 2024, found that stressed sleepers showed more irregular breathing patterns during the night, with more frequent shallow breaths and occasional brief pauses. These disruptions, while not severe enough to be classified as sleep apnea, were strongly associated with reduced deep sleep duration. Your breath, which should become a steady, calming rhythm during deep sleep, instead reflects the underlying tension your mind carries, subtly disrupting the descent into restorative rest. Your synapses, the connections between neurons, undergo crucial maintenance during deep sleep through a process called synaptic homeostasis. During waking hours, learning and experience strengthens certain synaptic connections while weakening others. By the end of the day, your synapses are oversaturated, making it harder for your brain to form new connections and learn effectively. Deep sleep provides the opportunity for synaptic pruning and renormalization, effectively resetting your neural networks for the next day. A groundbreaking 2024 study published in Nature used electron microscopy to show that brains with adequate deep sleep demonstrated 18 to 20% reduction in synapse size and strength, creating space for new learning. But stressed brains with reduced deep sleep showed much less synaptic renormalization, leaving them less prepared for the cognitive demands of the following day. Your body's inflammatory response, the immune system's reaction to injury or infection, follows a circadian rhythm influenced by sleep, particularly deep sleep. Inflammation markers like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6 should decrease during nighttime hours, giving your body a break from inflammatory processes. But research from UCLA published in 2024 found that stress-disrupted deep sleep prevents this normal inflammatory decrease. Blood samples taken from stressed participants at 2-hour intervals throughout the night showed persistently elevated inflammatory markers compared to relaxed sleepers. Even more concerning, this pattern persisted over multiple nights, suggesting that chronic stress creates a state of sustained low-grade inflammation through its effects on deep sleep. Your body remains in a subtle state of alarm, as if fighting an infection that doesn't exist, wearing down your systems night after night. Your emotional processing relies on the intricate interaction between deep sleep and REM sleep. While REM sleep is often called the dreaming stage, deep sleep plays an essential preparatory role in emotional regulation. During slow-wave sleep, your brain processes the emotional content of the day's experiences, determining which emotions need further processing and which can be filed away as resolved. A fascinating 2024 study from the University of Pennsylvania found that reduced deep sleep due to stress led to more negatively toned REM dreams and less effective emotional resolution during sleep. Participants woke up carrying more emotional residue from the previous day, feeling anxious about events they'd already experienced. Their brains hadn't been given adequate deep sleep time to properly sort through emotional content, leaving them emotionally unresolved and vulnerable to ongoing stress. Your muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body repairs and builds muscle tissue, occurs primarily during deep sleep. Exercise creates microscopic damage to muscle fibers, which need to be repaired and strengthened during rest. Growth hormone, which peaks during deep sleep, triggers this repair process. But when stress reduces your deep sleep, muscle recovery suffers. A 2024 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that athletes experiencing high stress showed significantly slower muscle recovery times and reduced strength gains compared to low-stress athletes, even when training intensity, nutrition, and total sleep time were controlled. The difference was deep sleep quality and duration. Their muscles were trying to repair themselves without adequate access to the deep sleep environment, where that repair work happens most effectively. These observations reveal that stress doesn't just make sleep worse in some vague way. It specifically blocks your access to deep sleep through multiple interconnected biological mechanisms. Your hormones send conflicting signals. Your nervous system maintains partial arousal. Your brain waves can't slow to delta patterns. Your body temperature stays too high. Your muscles can't fully relax. Your immune system can't complete its nighttime work. Your lymphatic system can't flush out waste effectively. Your cardiovascular system doesn't get its needed rest. Your metabolism can't reset properly. Pattern by pattern, system by system, stress builds a barrier between you and the restorative deep sleep your body desperately needs. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward dismantling them. Knowledge itself becomes a tool for reclaiming your rest. Let's pause here and notice your body. As you breathe out slowly, appreciate each tiny cell inside. Trillions of organisms working in silence. Heart beating, lungs breathing, brain thinking, all without your command. Notice the gentle sensations on your skin, in your muscles, along your spine. You are a complete ecosystem, diverse, self-balancing. Now we continue. Your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour clock, is controlled by a tiny brain region called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This cluster of approximately 20,000 neurons receives direct input from your eyes about light and darkness, helping to time your sleep-wake cycle. But stress can disrupt this timing mechanism. Research from Northwestern University, published in 2024, found that chronic psychological stress can shift circadian rhythms by up to 90 minutes, essentially giving you a mild form of jet lag every night. Your body thinks it should be awake when the clock says it's time to sleep. Your cortisol and melatonin rhythms fall out of sync with your desired bedtime. This circadian misalignment makes it even harder to achieve deep sleep during your intended sleep window, compounding the direct effects of stress hormones. Your neurons communicate through chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, and several of these play crucial roles in sleep regulation. GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, is your brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, essentially functioning as a brake pedal that slows neural activity and promotes sleep. Serotonin and norepinephrine also influence sleep-wake transitions. But stress disrupts this delicate neurochemical balance. A recent study using advanced brain imaging found that chronically stressed individuals showed altered GABA levels in regions associated with sleep regulation, particularly the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus, a brain area crucial for initiating and maintaining sleep. Their GABA systems weren't functioning properly, making it harder for their brains to shift into the quiet. synchronized firing patterns necessary for deep sleep. The brake pedal wasn't working as it should. Your gastrointestinal system and your sleep patterns are more connected than most people realize. Your gut contains its own nervous system, the enteric nervous system, sometimes called your second brain because it can function independently of your central nervous system. Recent 2024 research, published in Gut Microbiome, has shown that stress-induced changes to gut bacteria composition can affect sleep quality, including deep sleep duration. The mechanism appears to involve the gut-brain axis, the bidirectional communication system between your digestive tract and your brain. Stressed individuals showed different patterns of gut bacteria compared to relaxed individuals, and these differences correlated with reduced deep sleep. Your intestinal ecosystem, disrupted by stress, sends signals that interfere with your brain's ability to transition into restorative sleep states. Your sleep architecture, the structure and pattern of sleep stages throughout the night, normally shows a predictable pattern. Deep sleep predominates in the first third of the night, with longer deep sleep periods early and shorter periods later. REM sleep shows the opposite pattern, with longer REM periods in the final third of the night. This architecture serves important functions, with different types of memory consolidation and physical restoration occurring during different windows. But stress disrupts this architecture. Sleep studies from 2024 show that stressed individuals often have fragmented sleep architecture, with deep sleep attempts scattered throughout the night rather than concentrated early. Their sleep looks choppy and disorganized on polysomnography recordings, reflecting their brain's repeated failed attempts to settle into sustained deep sleep. Your auditory system remains partially active during sleep, monitoring your environment for potential threats even while you rest. This is why unexpected sounds can wake you, while familiar background noise often doesn't. But stress increases this auditory vigilance. A clever 2024 experiment played various sounds to sleeping participants while monitoring their brain activity. Stressed participants showed significantly more arousal responses to neutral sounds compared to relaxed participants. Even during deep sleep attempts, their brains were more reactive to potential disturbances. Sounds that relaxed sleepers incorporated into sleep or ignored entirely caused stressed sleepers to shift into lighter sleep stages or wake partially. Their auditory monitoring system was turned up too high, making deep sleep's vulnerability feel threatening rather than safe. Your sleep inertia, that groggy, disoriented feeling upon waking, varies depending on which sleep stage you wake from. Waking from deep sleep produces the strongest sleep inertia, sometimes lasting 20 to 30 minutes as your brain transitions back to full alertness. This isn't necessarily bad. That deep grogginess is actually evidence that you achieved genuine deep sleep. But chronically stressed individuals often report less sleep inertia, which might initially sound positive, but actually indicates they're not reaching deep enough sleep stages to produce significant inertia upon waking. A 2024 study found that participants who never felt deeply groggy upon waking, who could jump right out of bed and function immediately, actually showed the least deep sleep on objective measurements. Their brains never descended far enough down to require a gradual ascent back up. Your autonomic nervous system has two branches that should alternate dominance throughout the day and night. The sympathetic branch, your gas pedal, should dominate during active waking hours. The parasympathetic branch, your brake pedal, should dominate during rest and sleep. But measuring this balance through heart rate variability analysis shows something interesting in stressed individuals. Recent research found that stressed sleepers showed reduced parasympathetic activation even during their deepest sleep periods compared to relaxed sleepers. Their autonomic nervous system never fully shifted into rest mode. It's as if they're driving with one foot on the gas and one on the brake simultaneously. Their body trying to rest, while their stress response insists on maintaining readiness. Neither system can function properly under these contradictory demands. Your sleep spindles. Brief bursts of brain activity visible on EEG recordings during stage 2 sleep play an important role in transitioning to deeper sleep and in protecting sleep from external disturbances. These spindles typically last half a second to 2 seconds and occur at a frequency of 11 to 16 cycles per second. Recent research from MIT, published in 2024, found that stress affects both the frequency and density of sleep spindles. Stressed participants produced fewer sleep spindles overall, and the spindles they did produce were shorter in duration. Since sleep spindles appear to facilitate the transition into deep sleep, having fewer or weaker spindles makes that transition more difficult. Your brain's natural mechanisms for deepening sleep are being suppressed by the ongoing effects of stress. Your sensory input doesn't completely stop during sleep. Your brain continues processing information from your environment, just at a reduced level. This partial awareness allows you to respond to important stimuli like smoke alarms or a crying baby while filtering out irrelevant sounds. But the threshold for what counts as important versus ignorable changes with stress. Neuroimaging studies from 2024 show that stressed sleepers have lower arousal thresholds during sleep attempts, meaning their brains categorize more stimuli as potentially important and worthy of attention. Sounds, movements, temperature changes, even internal bodily sensations that relaxed sleepers easily sleep through can cause stressed sleepers to shift into lighter sleep or wake briefly. Their filtering system is too sensitive, treating every stimulus as potentially significant. Your emotional reactivity, how strongly you respond to emotional stimuli, is directly affected by deep sleep quality. When you get adequate deep sleep, your emotional responses tend to be more measured and appropriate. But recent research published in Emotion Journal found that just one night of reduced deep sleep makes people significantly more reactive to negative emotional stimuli the next day. Test participants shown images designed to evoke negative emotions showed stronger amygdala responses and weaker prefrontal cortex regulation when they'd experienced poor deep sleep the previous night. This creates another vicious cycle. Stress reduces deep sleep, which increases emotional reactivity, which makes stressful situations feel even more stressful, which further disrupts sleep. Each cycle amplifies the one before, building momentum toward chronic sleep disruption. Your muscle tension follows patterns throughout sleep that reflect your stress levels. During normal deep sleep, electromyography sensors placed on various muscle groups show dramatic decreases in electrical activity, indicating true relaxation. But a comprehensive 2024 study measured muscle tension in stressed versus relaxed sleepers throughout entire nights. Stressed participants maintained significantly higher baseline muscle tension even during their deepest sleep periods. Their jaw muscles, shoulder muscles, and leg muscles all showed persistent low-level activation that never fully released. This ongoing tension requires metabolic energy, generates waste products that need clearing, and prevents the complete physical restoration that deep sleep should provide. Their bodies are trying to rest while simultaneously maintaining a state of physical readiness for action. Your pain perception changes during different sleep stages. Deep sleep appears to have a natural analgesic effect, reducing sensitivity to pain signals. People woken from deep sleep report higher pain thresholds than when woken from light sleep. But research from the University of California, Berkeley in 2024 found that chronic stress and reduced deep sleep create a bidirectional relationship with pain. Stress reduces deep sleep, which increases pain sensitivity, which makes it harder to achieve deep sleep, which further increases pain sensitivity. Participants in this study showed measurably lower pain thresholds after nights with reduced deep sleep, and those who also reported high stress showed the lowest thresholds of all. Their reduced deep sleep left them more vulnerable to physical discomfort, which in turn made restful sleep even more elusive. Your hippocampus, that memory processing structure we mentioned earlier, doesn't just consolidate memories during deep sleep. It also appears to undergo structural changes based on sleep quality. Long-term studies tracking brain structure over months and years have found that people who consistently get adequate deep sleep maintain hippocampal volume better as they age. Recent research suggests that individuals experiencing chronic stress with reduced deep sleep may show measurable hippocampal volume changes over time compared to low-stress controls. These structural differences, while small, approximately 2 to 3%, may be statistically significant and potentially meaningful for long-term cognitive health. Your deep sleep isn't just about feeling rested tomorrow. It's about protecting brain structures that determine how well you think and remember years from now. Your sleep debt accumulates over time when you consistently fail to get adequate deep sleep. This isn't just total sleep time. You can sleep 8 hours every night, but still accumulate deep sleep debt if stress keeps you in lighter stages. Research tracking sleep architecture over weeks shows that deep sleep debt doesn't recover as quickly as total sleep debt. Even after stress reduces, it can take several nights of good sleep before deep sleep duration returns to baseline levels. A 2024 study found that after a week of high stress and reduced deep sleep, participants needed 4 to 5 nights of low stress before their deep sleep patterns normalized. The biological systems disrupted by stress don't reset instantly. They need time to recalibrate. This evidence suggests that stress creates a multi-layered barrier to deep sleep that affects virtually every system involved in sleep regulation. It's not one simple mechanism that you can fix with a single intervention. Your hormones, neurotransmitters, nervous system, brain waves, body temperature, muscle tension, immune function, gut microbiome, and even pain perception all shift in directions that oppose deep sleep. Each system alone might be manageable, but their combined effect creates a robust obstacle to restorative rest. Understanding this complexity helps explain why deep sleep doesn't return immediately when you try to relax, and why reclaiming deep sleep requires patience and attention to multiple aspects of your physical and mental state. The barrier is substantial, but it's not impenetrable. There are pathways through. You're still here with me. Thoughts still flickering like candlelight. Just notice. Don't judge. Just notice where your mind is. We're exploring consciousness itself, the very thing doing the exploring right now. Strange, beautiful, and perfectly calm. Let's drift onward together. Your stress response isn't a design flaw. It's an ancient survival mechanism that kept your ancestors alive for hundreds of thousands of years. When a predator appeared or tribal conflict arose, the ability to maintain vigilance through the night could mean the difference between survival and death. Individuals whose sleep was easily disrupted by stress were more likely to wake when danger approached, giving them crucial seconds to respond. Natural selection favored stress-sensitive sleep systems because the cost of sleeping too deeply during dangerous periods was death. Your difficulty sleeping deeply when stressed is your great-great-grandparents' survival strategy, still active in your brain, unable to distinguish between genuine threats and modern worries about work deadlines or financial concerns. Your brain's threat detection system operates on a principle that evolution favored. Better to have 10 false alarms than one missed danger. Treating an irrelevant stimulus as important costs you some sleep quality and energy. But failing to wake when danger is real could cost you your life. So your brain errs on the side of caution, especially when stress signals suggest elevated environmental threat. This principle made perfect sense in ancestral environments where threats were real and physical. But modern stressors, work pressure, financial worry, relationship conflict, aren't resolved by staying alert through the night. Your ancient alarm system keeps you vigilant against threats that can't be escaped through wakefulness, creating exhaustion without providing the intended protection. Your sleep patterns show remarkable flexibility across different life circumstances. And this flexibility also has evolutionary roots. Parents of newborns can function on lighter, more fragmented sleep because their survival strategy requires responsiveness to their vulnerable infant. Soldiers in combat zones can maintain alertness on minimal deep sleep during active threats. Your body can temporarily sacrifice deep sleep when circumstances demand vigilance. The problem arises when this temporary adaptation becomes chronic. Your stress response system evolved for acute threats. The leopard in the darkness, the hostile neighboring tribe. It wasn't designed for the chronic, unresolvable stresses of modern life that can continue for weeks, months, or years. The temporary sleep sacrifice becomes a permanent condition, with mounting costs your ancestors never had to pay. Your brain has to solve a difficult optimization problem every night. Balance the need for restorative sleep against the need for threat vigilance. During times of low environmental threat, the scales tip toward deep sleep and full restoration. During high-threat periods, they tip toward lighter sleep and easier arousal. Stress hormones essentially communicate threat level to your sleep systems. Shifting this balance, from an evolutionary perspective, this is elegant and adaptive. From the perspective of someone lying awake at 3 a.m., worrying about tomorrow's presentation, it's frustrating and counterproductive. Your brain is solving the wrong problem, optimizing for a threat model that doesn't match your actual circumstances, prioritizing vigilance when restoration is what you actually need. Your stress response evolved to match activity patterns that no longer describe modern life. This pattern made sense when humans woke with dawn, were active during daylight, and slept when darkness fell. But modern life disrupts this ancient rhythm. Artificial light delays natural sleep timing. Work stress maintains arousal into evening hours. Screens stimulate alertness when you should be winding down. You're trying to sleep on a biological schedule designed for a lifestyle that no longer exists, creating a constant mismatch between your body's expectations and your actual circumstances. Your ancient alarm system remains active in a world where the threats have changed, but the response hasn't adapted. Your immune system's relationship with sleep reveals another evolutionary trade-off. When your body detects infection, it triggers sleepiness and particularly promotes deep sleep, which enhances immune function and speeds recovery. This is why illness makes you want to sleep more. But when your stress system detects threat, it suppresses some aspects of sleep to maintain vigilance. These two systems, immune response and threat response, can work at cross purposes. Chronic stress keeps you from getting the deep sleep that would strengthen your immune system, while your immune system tries to promote the deep sleep that stress prevents. You're caught between competing survival strategies, each one adaptive in its original context, but creating conflict in modern circumstances where both systems are chronically activated simultaneously. Your sleep need varies across your lifespan, and stress affects this developmental pattern. Infants spend about half their sleep time in deep sleep because their brains are growing rapidly and require extensive restoration. Deep sleep percentage gradually decreases through childhood and stabilizes in adulthood at 15 to 25%. Older adults naturally experience some reduction in deep sleep, but stress accelerates this age-related decline. Recent research suggests that chronic stress can make your sleep architecture resemble that of someone 10 to 15 years older than your actual age. Your young brain is being aged by stress, showing sleep patterns typical of much older individuals, potentially contributing to cognitive decline that shouldn't begin for decades. Your body maintains something called allostatic load, the cumulative wear and tear from chronic stress exposure. Every stress response, every cortisol spike, every night of disrupted deep sleep adds to this load. Your systems can handle acute stress. They're designed for it. But chronic stress, without adequate recovery, creates cumulative damage. Deep sleep is one of your primary recovery mechanisms, helping to reduce allostatic load. But stress disrupts deep sleep, preventing this recovery, which increases allostatic load, which makes stress more damaging, which further disrupts sleep. You're stuck in a deepening spiral where stress and poor sleep amplify each other, each making the other worse, with allostatic load mounting silently beneath the surface, like invisible damage accumulating in overstressed metal. Your subjective experience of sleep quality often doesn't match objective measurements. People frequently report that they didn't sleep at all when polysomnography shows they actually slept for several hours. This mismatch is especially pronounced during stress. You might achieve some deep sleep but not remember it, waking with the conviction that you never reached deep rest. Recent research suggests this happens because stress increases the likelihood of waking from deep sleep. And waking from deep sleep creates strong memories of being awake. You remember the awakenings vividly but don't remember the sleep itself. So your subjective experience becomes, "I barely slept," even when objective data shows you got more rest than you realized, though still less than you need. Halfway through our journey, the answer is emerging. You can't reach deep sleep when stressed, because every system your body uses to create deep sleep is opposed by some aspect of the stress response. It's not weakness or failure on your part. It's biology working exactly as evolution designed it, just in circumstances evolution never anticipated. Your ancestors needed stress-responsive sleep to survive immediate threats. You need stress-resistant sleep to thrive during chronic modern pressures. The mismatch between what your stress response is designed to do and what you actually need creates the frustrating reality of lying exhausted but unable to sleep deeply. Your body maintaining vigilance against threats that can't be escaped through wakefulness alone. Let's pause and notice time itself. You've been listening for nearly an hour now. Where did that time go? Time during relaxation moves differently than time during stress. Each moment you spend here, listening, allowing yourself to simply be, that's time reclaimed from worry. You're not falling behind. You're not wasting time. You're giving your mind exactly what it needs. And time will be here tomorrow. Let's continue. Your brain attempts compensation when deep sleep is blocked by stress. It tries to make your REM sleep more restorative, or to increase sleep efficiency in other ways. But these compensations are incomplete. Research shows that no other sleep stage can fully replace the unique restorative functions of deep sleep. Your brain might increase REM duration or intensify stage 2 sleep, but the specific cellular repair, waste clearance, and memory consolidation that happen during slow-wave sleep simply don't occur as effectively in other stages. It's like trying to substitute running for swimming. Both are exercise. Both have benefits, but they're not interchangeable. Your body does its best with the sleep it can achieve, but the deep sleep deficit continues accumulating regardless of compensatory efforts. Your daytime behavior changes in predictable ways after nights of reduced deep sleep. You tend to consume more caffeine, seeking artificial alertness. You crave higher calorie foods, particularly carbohydrates and sugar. As your metabolism signals energy deficit, you make more impulsive decisions as your prefrontal cortex function decreases. Research tracking people through periods of stress-disrupted sleep shows they consume an average of 300 more calories per day and report making decisions they later regret twice as often as during good sleep periods. These behavioral changes feel like personal failures, lack of willpower, poor judgment, but they're actually predictable biological responses to deep sleep deprivation. Your body and brain are trying to compensate for restoration they didn't receive. Your napping habits might change when stress disrupts nighttime deep sleep. Some people find themselves desperately wanting to nap during the day, while others find they can't nap, even when exhausted. Afternoon naps can actually contain substantial deep sleep, especially if you're sleep deprived. A 20 to 30-minute nap might reach early deep sleep stages, but longer naps can sometimes make nighttime sleep more difficult. It's a delicate balance. Daytime deep sleep can help reduce your sleep debt, but might further disrupt your circadian rhythm. Your body is trying to get the restoration it needs whenever it can, even if that means fragmenting sleep across the 24-hour day rather than consolidating it at night. Your perception of time changes when you're not getting adequate deep sleep. Days seem to drag by slowly, while simultaneously feeling like they're blurring together. This isn't imagination. It's related to how your hippocampus processes temporal information. Adequate deep sleep helps encode distinct memories with clear temporal tags, creating the subjective sense that time is passing with clear demarcation between different days and events. Without sufficient deep sleep, memories become less distinct. Days blend together, and time perception becomes distorted. You might struggle to remember whether something happened yesterday or 3 days ago. Your brain is trying to function without the memory consolidation that should happen during deep sleep, creating a fog that affects how you experience time itself. Your social behavior changes subtly when deep sleep is inadequate. You might feel more irritable, less patient, more socially withdrawn. Recent studies show that poor deep sleep affects your ability to read facial expressions and emotional cues accurately. You misinterpret neutral faces as slightly negative or threatening. You have more difficulty empathizing with others' perspectives. These changes are small individually, but add up to noticeable effects on relationships. Your partner might comment that you seem off or not yourself. You might avoid social interaction because it feels more effortful than usual. This isn't character change. It's your social cognition operating without the restoration it requires, making interpersonal interaction more challenging than it should be. Your body tries to protect the most critical functions when deep sleep is inadequate, creating a hierarchy of what gets maintained versus what degrades. Essential functions like breathing, heartbeat, and basic homeostasis are preserved, but higher-order functions, complex reasoning, emotional regulation, creative thinking, suffer more noticeably. It's similar to a government during a budget crisis, maintaining essential services while cutting programs that seem less immediately critical. Your body maintains the basics of survival while sacrificing the refinements that make you feel fully human. You can function, but you're operating in a kind of safe mode, with reduced capacity for the cognitive and emotional complexity that characterizes your best self. Your weekend sleep patterns often reflect attempts to recover from weekday deep sleep deficits. Many people sleep longer on weekends, trying to catch up on missed sleep. You might achieve more deep sleep during these extended sleep periods as your body takes advantage of reduced stress and additional time. But research shows that weekend recovery sleep doesn't fully compensate for chronic weekday deficits. You might feel somewhat better, but objective measurements show persistent effects of sleep debt even after weekend recovery efforts. It's like trying to water a dehydrated plant once a week. It helps, but the plant would be healthier with consistent daily watering. Your recovery from deep sleep debt requires consistent improvement, not just weekend binges of rest. Your body's attempts to adapt to chronic stress and poor deep sleep include changes to your baseline stress response. Paradoxically, chronic stress can actually blunt acute stress responses in some ways while maintaining elevated baseline cortisol. It's as if your stress system's volume control gets stuck at medium-high, losing its ability to range from very low during rest to very high during genuine emergencies. You feel constantly moderately stressed rather than experiencing the normal variation between calm and acute stress. This adaptation helps you continue functioning, but at a cost. You lose access to both deep relaxation and appropriate intense responses, existing instead in a gray zone of perpetual moderate arousal. Your sleep environment might become increasingly important when stress is reducing your deep sleep. Factors that wouldn't bother you during low-stress periods. Slight temperature variations, minor noise, light leaking through curtains, can become significant obstacles during high-stress periods. Your reduced ability to transition into and maintain deep sleep means you have less tolerance for environmental imperfections. It's not that you're becoming overly sensitive or difficult. It's that your stress-disrupted sleep system needs more ideal conditions to achieve the deep sleep it's already struggling to reach. Your body is working harder to achieve sleep, and environmental obstacles that would normally be minor become magnified when your margin for error is already narrow. Your dreams might change in character when stress disrupts deep sleep patterns. With less deep sleep, and altered REM sleep, dreams often become more negative, more anxious, more focused on problems and threats. The normal emotional processing that should happen during sleep gets distorted, and dreams reflect this distortion. You might have more nightmares or more dreams where you're trying to solve impossible problems. This isn't random. It's your brain trying to process stress during sleep without adequate deep sleep to provide the restoration and emotional regulation that should support healthy dream processing. Your dreams become another symptom of the deep sleep deficit your stress is creating. Your sleep medications, if you use them, might affect deep sleep in complex ways. Many common sleep medications increase total sleep time and reduce sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep. But research shows that most don't increase deep sleep as much as you might expect, and some actually reduce it. They might help you feel more rested by increasing overall sleep time and reducing nighttime awakenings. But the specific architecture of deep sleep often remains disrupted. This doesn't mean sleep medications can't be helpful, especially during crisis periods. But it illustrates that achieving true deep sleep requires addressing the underlying stress response, not just inducing unconsciousness through chemical means. Your body temperature regulation attempts to adapt when stress disrupts sleep. Since cooling is necessary for deep sleep and stress prevents adequate cooling, your body might try alternative strategies. Some people experience night sweats or temperature fluctuations as their thermoregulation system struggles to find the right set point. Others feel consistently too warm or too cold at night. These aren't separate problems from your sleep disruption. They're part of the same stress response system, creating multiple obstacles to deep sleep. Your autonomic nervous system is trying to create conditions for deep sleep while simultaneously maintaining the arousal that stress demands, creating contradictory temperature regulation signals that result in uncomfortable fluctuations throughout the night. Your morning cortisol awakening response, the natural spike in cortisol that occurs upon waking, becomes exaggerated when stress disrupts deep sleep. This spike should be sharp but brief, helping you transition from sleep to wakefulness. But research shows that people experiencing chronic stress with poor deep sleep show both higher and more prolonged morning cortisol elevation. You might wake up feeling immediately anxious or stressed before you're even fully conscious, before you've had time to remember what you're stressed about. Your stress system is active before your conscious mind even engages, setting a negative tone for the day ahead, which in turn makes the next night's sleep more difficult. Your subjective sleep quality rating, how good you think your sleep was, diverges increasingly from objective measurements when stress is high. You might rate your sleep as terrible, even on nights when you actually achieved moderate amounts of deep sleep. This negative perception bias reflects your stress, affecting not just sleep, but also how you evaluate and remember your sleep. The stress lens colors everything, making even partially successful sleep feel like complete failure. This perception matters because it can increase sleep-related anxiety, making you more worried about sleep, which creates more stress, which further disrupts deep sleep. Your thoughts about your sleep become part of the problem. We now understand that stress creates a state where your body is simultaneously trying to achieve deep sleep and trying to prevent it. Your homeostatic sleep drive pushes you toward deep sleep based on how long you've been awake. Your circadian rhythm signals that it's time for sleep. Your adenosine accumulation creates sleep pressure, but your stress response actively opposes these signals, maintaining arousal, preventing the full transition into vulnerability that deep sleep requires. You're not failing at sleep. You're caught in a biological contradiction where different systems have different priorities. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do. The problem is that what it's designed to do no longer serves your actual needs. Your cognitive function during the day provides clues about your deep sleep quality the previous night. Tests of attention, memory, and executive function show predictable patterns after nights with reduced deep sleep. Your reaction time slows. Your working memory capacity decreases. Your ability to maintain focus on boring tasks declines. These effects are measurable and consistent across different people. If you notice these cognitive changes, they're telling you that your brain didn't get the deep sleep restoration it needed. Your daytime performance is providing feedback about your nighttime sleep quality, even if you don't remember or accurately perceive the sleep itself. Your stress hormones show daily rhythms that either support or oppose good sleep, depending on whether stress has disrupted these rhythms. In healthy patterns, cortisol is low in the evening and overnight, while melatonin is high. Prolactin, a hormone that promotes feelings of calm and satisfaction, increases during sleep, but chronic stress flattens these rhythms. Cortisol stays moderately elevated around the clock rather than showing strong variation. Melatonin's nighttime increase is blunted. Prolactin doesn't rise as much during sleep. You lose the strong rhythmic variation between day and night, instead existing in a state of moderate arousal that persists without the deep valleys of nighttime calm that should facilitate deep sleep. Your physical exercise patterns both affect and are affected by deep sleep quality. Exercise generally promotes deeper sleep, particularly if performed earlier in the day. But when stress is disrupting sleep, exercise becomes more difficult to maintain. You feel too tired, too unmotivated, or exercise causes excessive fatigue rather than energizing you. This creates another negative cycle. Stress reduces deep sleep, which makes exercise harder, which reduces one of your tools for promoting deep sleep and managing stress. Your body would benefit from the restoration exercise provides, but can't generate the energy to exercise without adequate deep sleep. Breaking this cycle requires starting small, accepting imperfect efforts as valuable. Your nighttime blood sugar regulation depends partly on adequate deep sleep. Growth hormone released during deep sleep helps regulate how your body processes glucose overnight. Without sufficient deep sleep, blood sugar tends to be higher and less stable throughout the night. You might wake up feeling hungrier than you should, or craving specific foods your body thinks it needs for energy. These metabolic signals reflect the energy deficit your body experiences when deep sleep restoration doesn't occur. Your daytime eating patterns might shift as your body tries to compensate for metabolic processes that should happen during deep sleep but can't when stress keeps that sleep stage out of reach. Your relationship with your bedroom might change when stress chronically disrupts deep sleep. Classical conditioning. The same process that made Pavlov's dogs salivate at a bell can make your bedroom become associated with frustration and wakefulness rather than rest. You lie there night after night, unable to achieve deep sleep. And gradually, your brain learns to associate your bed with that struggle. Sleep experts often recommend if you can't sleep after 20 minutes, get up and do something calming elsewhere. Then return when sleepy. This helps prevent your bed from becoming a place of stress rather than rest. Your environment needs to remain associated with sleep success. not sleep failure. Your mental rehearsal during the day, repeatedly thinking about past poor sleep or worrying about tonight's sleep, creates anticipatory stress that further disrupts deep sleep. This pre-sleep worry becomes its own source of stress, separate from whatever originally caused your stress. You're now stressed about being stressed, anxious about being unable to sleep because of anxiety. This meta-worry is remarkably common and creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Expecting poor sleep increases stress, which disrupts sleep, which confirms your expectation, strengthening the belief that you can't sleep well. Breaking this cognitive cycle requires addressing your thoughts about sleep, not just your stress itself. Your deep sleep deprivation affects how you evaluate risks and make decisions. Research shows that inadequate deep sleep makes people more risk-averse in some domains, while paradoxically more impulsive in others. You might avoid beneficial opportunities because they feel too risky, while simultaneously making impulsive decisions about things you'd normally consider carefully. This inconsistency reflects disrupted prefrontal cortex function that should be restored during deep sleep. Your judgment is impaired, but in unpredictable ways that make it hard to compensate. You can't simply try harder to make good decisions when the neural architecture supporting good judgment hasn't received the deep sleep maintenance it requires. Your stress response system shows adaptation over time, which can be either positive or negative. Some people develop resilience, learning to maintain relatively better deep sleep even during stress. Others show increasing sensitivity, where the same stress level causes progressively worse deep sleep disruption over time. The difference seems related to how you think about stress and sleep, your coping strategies, and perhaps genetic factors affecting stress reactivity. Understanding that adaptation is possible provides hope. You're not necessarily stuck with your current pattern, but it also means that allowing poor stress management and sleep habits to continue risks developing increasing sensitivity that makes the problem harder to reverse later. Your immune function, already discussed briefly, deserves deeper consideration because it reflects one of the most important functions of deep sleep. During slow-wave sleep, your body produces cytokines that fight infection and inflammation. Certain types of immune cells proliferate and circulate more during deep sleep. Vaccine effectiveness even depends partly on sleep. Studies show that people who get adequate deep sleep after vaccination show stronger antibody responses. When stress prevents deep sleep, you're not just losing rest. You're losing immune system maintenance time. Your body becomes more vulnerable to infection, inflammation, and potentially to longer-term health problems that adequate deep sleep would help prevent. Deep sleep has taught us that our sleep is not passive unconsciousness, but active restoration. And stress has taught us that this restoration is vulnerable to disruption by our own thoughts and worries. The barrier between you and deep sleep exists not because something is broken, but because something ancient and powerful is working exactly as designed. Your stress response, prioritizing vigilance over vulnerability. Understanding this paradox is crucial. You're not fighting against malfunction, but against adaptation. Not struggling with weakness, but with an overly effective protective system that doesn't know the difference between real danger and imagined threat. This understanding opens the path toward reclaiming your rest. You might be feeling tired now. That's perfectly fine. Breathe slowly. Feel the cycles. Your heart beating, your lungs expanding, your thoughts rising and falling. Everything in nature moves in cycles. Stress and rest. Waking and sleeping. Tension and release. You are part of these cycles, not separate from them. You don't need to force anything. Let everything unfold in its natural rhythm, like the tide coming in and out, unhurried, unresisting, simply existing. We're almost there now. Your path back to deep sleep begins with accepting where you are right now. Fighting against poor sleep creates more stress, which creates worse sleep. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging reality without adding layers of stress and judgment on top. Tonight, you're listening to these words. Tomorrow, you'll wake up. Whether you achieve deep sleep tonight or not, you'll continue taking steps toward better rest. Each night is one night, not a catastrophe or a permanent state. This acceptance itself reduces stress slightly, creating a small opening for rest. Small openings are enough to begin. Your body remembers how to sleep deeply. This knowledge is built into your biology. Even after months or years of stress-disrupted sleep, the capacity for deep sleep remains. When conditions improve, deep sleep returns. Sometimes rapidly, sometimes gradually. Sleep research tracking people through stressful life events and their resolution shows that sleep architecture can normalize within weeks. Once stress reduces, your brain hasn't forgotten how to create delta waves. Your body hasn't lost the ability to cool and relax. These capacities are waiting, ready to re-engage when your stress response allows. Your thoughts about sleep matter more than you might realize. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia focuses significantly on changing thoughts and beliefs about sleep. Catastrophizing about poor sleep, thinking I'll never sleep well, or this is ruining my life, increases stress and worsens sleep. Gentler, more accurate thoughts. Sleep is difficult right now, or my body is doing its best. Reduce that added stress layer. Your thoughts can't directly create deep sleep, but they can remove obstacles, creating space for your body's natural sleep mechanisms to function better. Your sleep routine creates signals that can support or hinder deep sleep. Consistent timing helps regulate your circadian rhythm. A cool bedroom supports the temperature drop needed for deep sleep. Dim lighting in the evening supports melatonin production. These aren't cures for stress-disrupted sleep, but they're like removing rocks from a path. They don't make you walk faster, but they remove obstacles that slow you down. Small adjustments to your sleep environment and routine can't eliminate stress, but they can support your body's efforts to achieve deep sleep despite stress. Your stress management during the day affects your sleep at night more than nighttime interventions alone. Exercise, social connection, time in nature, activities that engage you fully. These reduce overall stress load, making deep sleep more accessible. You can't simply relax your way from high stress to deep sleep in the moments before bed. Deep sleep becomes possible when daily stress reduces to levels your stress management capacity can handle. Nighttime routine matters, but daytime stress management matters more. Your sleep is protected during the day, not just at night. Your breathing offers a direct pathway to influencing your nervous system. Slow, deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response that supports sleep. You can't breathe yourself directly into deep sleep, but you can breathe yourself into a state more conducive to sleep. 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out, repeated for several minutes. measurably reduces stress markers and shifts your autonomic balance. Your breath is one thing you can control directly, even when sleep itself feels completely beyond your control. Your body's natural circadian rhythm is powerfully influenced by light exposure, particularly morning light. Getting bright light early in the day helps anchor your circadian rhythm, making the evening decline towards sleep more robust. Even 15 minutes of morning sunlight or bright artificial light can strengthen the signals that promote deep sleep 12 to 14 hours later. Your sleep tonight is partly determined by what your eyes saw this morning. Light exposure is one of the most powerful, most overlooked tools for supporting healthy sleep patterns. Your relationship with imperfect sleep can shift. Perfect deep sleep every night is neither realistic nor necessary for health. Your body can handle occasional nights of reduced deep sleep without significant harm. It's the chronic pattern that creates problems, not individual bad nights. Releasing the demand for perfect sleep reduces performance anxiety around sleep. You can aim for better sleep while accepting that some nights will be harder than others. This flexibility, holding improvement as a direction rather than a rigid demand, itself reduces stress that interferes with deep sleep. Your social connections affect your stress levels and thereby your sleep. Feeling isolated increases stress. Feeling connected and supported reduces it. Even brief positive social interactions, a genuine conversation, a shared laugh, a moment of feeling understood, measurably reduce stress hormone levels. Your sleep doesn't exist in isolation from your relationships. The quality of your connections during the day influences the quality of your rest at night. Sometimes the path to better sleep leads through the path to better relationships and reduced loneliness. Your mind's tendency to problem solve can become an obstacle at night. During the day, actively thinking through problems serves you well, but this same mental process keeps you awake when applied at night. Learning to recognize when your mind shifts into problem-solving mode and gently redirecting it toward rest, without fighting it, just redirecting, helps create conditions for sleep. You can acknowledge, my mind is trying to solve problems, and choose to say, not now. We'll think tomorrow. This gentle boundary setting reduces nighttime cognitive activation. Your physical tension often reflects mental stress. Progressive muscle relaxation, systematically tensing and releasing muscle groups, can reduce overall arousal and support sleep. Even just noticing where you hold tension, jaw, shoulders, hands, and consciously releasing it helps. Your muscles and your nervous system communicate bidirectionally. Relaxed muscles send signals of safety to your brain. Your brain, receiving these signals of physical relaxation, becomes slightly more willing to release its vigilance. Your body can help convince your mind that rest is safe. Your deep sleep will improve not all at once, but gradually. Even small increases in deep sleep percentage provide benefits. Going from 10% to 15% of the night in deep sleep might not feel dramatically different, but it provides measurably better restoration. Progress isn't always perceptible subjectively, but it's happening in your biology. Trust the process, even when you don't immediately feel the results. Your body is responding to reduced stress and improved sleep conditions even before you consciously notice the difference. Your perspective on stress itself can shift. Stress isn't purely negative. It's information about what matters to you. The things that stress you are often the things you care about deeply. Work stress reflects caring about performing well. Relationship stress reflects caring about connection. Financial stress reflects caring about security. This reframe doesn't make stress disappear, but it can soften its edges, reducing the added stress of viewing stress as purely bad. Your stress is partly your caring in uncomfortable form. Your sleep supplements, melatonin, magnesium, herbal preparations, might provide modest support, but aren't solutions to stress-disrupted deep sleep. They can slightly support sleep mechanisms, but they don't address the stress response itself. If they help you feel more hopeful or provide a ritual that promotes relaxation, that psychological benefit might be more valuable than their direct biological effects. Use them if helpful, but remember that recovering deep sleep ultimately requires addressing stress itself, not just treating sleep symptoms. So could stress change how you reach deep sleep? It already has. But this change isn't permanent. Your stress response has created barriers to deep sleep through multiple biological pathways. But these pathways can shift again. Reduced stress reopens access to deep sleep. Your body still knows how to sleep deeply. You've been sleeping deeply since infancy. That capacity hasn't disappeared. It's just temporarily blocked by an overactive protective system. The barriers stress created can be dismantled, piece by piece, night by night. Your nights are unique moments in time. This particular night, right now, will never come again. You're here, listening, allowing yourself this time for rest and learning. Regardless of whether you achieve deep sleep tonight, you're doing something valuable. You're giving yourself permission to rest, to listen, to simply be without demands or judgment. This moment of permission matters. It's a small act of self-care in a world that constantly demands more. This listening is itself a form of restoration. Your future holds the possibility of better rest, not as a guarantee, but as a genuine possibility. People recover from periods of terrible sleep. Stress reduces. Life circumstances change. Coping skills improve. The future you're worried about might not be the future that actually unfolds. Right now, in this moment, you're safe. Your body is horizontal. Your environment is quiet. These facts are more real than the worries about tomorrow. This moment contains possibility, including the possibility of rest. Your worth doesn't depend on how well you sleep. Poor sleep doesn't make you weak or broken. It makes you human, experiencing a common response to stress. Millions of people tonight are also lying awake, also struggling with stress-disrupted sleep. You're part of a vast, invisible community of tired humans doing their best. There's no shame in finding sleep difficult. There's only the reality that stress and sleep exist in tension, and you're navigating that tension as well as you can. Your breathing continues, steady and automatic. You don't have to remember to breathe. Your body handles this without your conscious attention. Similarly, you don't have to remember how to sleep. When conditions allow, your body will sleep. When stress reduces enough, deep sleep will return. Not through effort or force, but through the natural unfolding of biological processes that know what to do. Your only job is to reduce obstacles. Then trust your body's ancient wisdom. Your healing happens in darkness, in stillness, in surrender. Not surrender to defeat, but surrender of control. Acknowledging that sleep comes when you stop trying to force it. Deep sleep arrives when you become willing to be vulnerable, to release the day's vigilance, to trust that dawn will come even if you let go completely. This trust is difficult when stress whispers that letting go is dangerous. But trust is the doorway. Vigilance is the barrier. Your rest tonight might be light rather than deep. And that's okay. Light sleep has value too. Even simple horizontal rest provides some restoration. Even closing your eyes and breathing gently offers your body a break. Not achieving deep sleep doesn't mean the night is wasted. There are degrees of rest, and any rest is better than none. Release the demand for perfect deep sleep and accept whatever rest comes tonight, whatever form it takes. Your mind is gradually quieting. Whether you notice or not, the words become softer, further away. Your thoughts drift like leaves on water, neither clinging nor escaping, just floating past. Deep sleep might come tonight or tomorrow or next week. But this moment, this soft, drifting moment, is already rest, already peace, already enough. You don't need to reach some future state of perfect sleep. This moment, exactly as it is, offers what you need. Your body knows what it needs. Even when your mind feels confused and stressed, your body is ancient, carrying wisdom from millions of years of evolution. It knows how to heal, how to rest, how to survive. Trust that wisdom. Trust that your body is working toward health, even when you can't perceive its efforts. You are more resilient than your stress makes you feel. Stronger, more capable, more able to rest. Your thoughts about tomorrow can wait. Whatever you're worried about, thinking about it now doesn't help. Your worried mind believes nighttime thinking is necessary. But it's not. Everything will still be there tomorrow. The worries, the tasks, the concerns, all waiting for daylight when you're equipped to handle them. For now, let them rest. Let everything rest, including you, especially you. You've earned this quiet darkness. The real change isn't in stress disappearing completely. It's in your relationship with stress shifting, becoming softer, less consuming. It's in moments like this where you give yourself permission to rest despite stress. These small permissions accumulate, creating space for deep sleep to return not through force, but through gentle, it is persistent invitation. Sleep is always available, waiting patiently for the moment when you release your grip and allow yourself to fall. That moment might be now, or soon, or eventually, but it will come. And so, our quiet journey through the science of sleep and stress comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from the biochemistry of cortisol and delta waves to the deeper truth that your struggle with sleep isn't failure. It's biology. From understanding why stress builds barriers to deep sleep, to recognizing that these barriers aren't permanent walls, but temporary obstacles that can shift when stress softens. We've glimpsed how sleep is both fragile and resilient, how your body never forgets how to rest deeply, even when stress makes that rest temporarily unreachable. Sleep science reminds us that we're biological creatures with ancient needs in a modern world. Much of the restoration we need happens in silence, in darkness, in the vulnerability of unconsciousness. Deep sleep reveals patience. It cannot be forced, only invited. By pausing to understand what stress does to sleep, we glimpse both our fragility and our capacity for healing. Without stress reduction, deep sleep remains elusive. But with patience, rest returns. In these final minutes, take the deepest breath you can, as deep as possible. Think about consciousness itself. Yours, mine, everyone listening, all awareness everywhere, perhaps all connected in ways we don't yet understand. You are not alone in the universe of minds. Let your entire being dissolve into the ocean of consciousness, into dreamless rest, into the space before thought. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left, only peace. If this thoughtful exploration of the mind made you relax, fall asleep, or sparked your curiosity tonight, a gentle like and subscribe helps other sleepless souls discover this peaceful space too. It only takes a moment, but it means the world to us. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight, deeper into understanding than most journeys take you. You can allow these thoughts of stress and sleep to fade now, like morning mist dissolving in sunlight, leaving only gentle calm behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier, as if gravity itself is pulling you down into soft darkness. If sleep comes, let it carry you like a leaf drifting downstream, smoothly, inevitably, into a realm where stress and vigilance no longer matter. If your eyes are still open, the next video is waiting for you, ready to continue the journey. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in the darkness that feels safe and warm. Tomorrow, your stress will still exist. Your responsibilities will still wait. But tonight belongs to stillness. Rest well, tired mind. And remember, your struggle with sleep isn't weakness. It's biology trying to protect you from dangers that don't exist. When you're ready, when stress softens even slightly, deep sleep will remember how to find you. Dream deeper with bedtime science. Fall asleep to gentle facts. Good night.